and welcome to another BookTube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. How are you all? Are you all having a lovely Sunday? I'm filming this on a Sunday, which rarely happens, and then uploading it on a Sunday, so I can actually say my Sunday's going lovely, because it is. Today I'm going to be talking about what I have been listening to, reading, watching, etc, etc, etc at the moment. It's my August at the moment video. I will start with the most recent song that I've been listening to. Now I was racking my brains to think of a song that I've been listening to and enjoying at the moment. You may not know. I don't listen to really like the radio or anything. I listen to podcasts on the way into work, and I listen to audiobooks on the way home from work, and the only time I really listen to the radio is when I'm cooking, and then I listen to Magic, which is like songs from the 80s and 90s. So yeah, I don't really listen to any like new music. But on Friday, my sister and her husband came around for dinner, and David, for Christmas a few years ago now, got a record player, and we were listening to 2 records on Friday, which is a very, very enjoyable thing to do. So I thought, they're the most recent songs I've listened to, I will mention those. So the first one is the Chef soundtrack. Now Chef is one of David and I's favourite films. We absolutely love it. It's just such a feel-good film. If you love food, you'll love this. There's like literally minimal peril in the whole film. The acting's really great. It's got an amazing soundtrack, and it's a perfect soundtrack for when you're cooking or entertaining, because there's a lot of like sort of instrumental music, and yeah, it's just amazing. Love, love, love this. And then the next thing we'll listen to, David's just delivering me my cup of tea. Was it coming around here? Thank you very much. Thank you. That'll be too hot for the minute. And then the next vinyl we were listening to, and both of these I feel like are ones that I've mentioned in favourites or before, is Jazz Loves Disney, and this is a two vinyl. It's really good, like in the middle, the posters they've got are really cool, and it's jazz covers of Disney songs.
Do you want half a donut with me?
Do I want half a donut? No, I've got a gypsy tart. I might have that later. Thank you anyway. Or do I want half a donut? No, I'll let, it's too late. So yes, we've been listening to Jazz Loves Disney as well, which is a very nice, background music for having peeps around. So those are the songs that I've been listening to recently. Those are the songs. The next thing is what film, what is the most recent film that I've watched. So yesterday I watched 2 films. I was only going to mention one of the films, but we actually ended up watching a film in the evening as well. So my goddaughter spent the day here yesterday, which was really fun. David and I looked after her. We went down to the beach. We picked up some pebbles. I brought the pebbles home. We painted them. Then while we were waiting for them to dry, we did like a unicorn felt display thing and had lunch, and then when the pebbles were dry, I painted like different animals on them. Animals, like bumblebee. I've made that sound much more in depth than it is. Bumblebee, ladybird. We went to the park next door to us and I hid them, and she found them, because when I was younger I used to love people hiding stuff and me finding them, so that's what I did. And we had a great day. And then when we got back from that, because everything takes a lot, I was like, oh, that'll keep her entertained for a couple of hours. Things take about 20 minutes. When we were painting, she was like, can we go back in and see Minnie again now? After about 20 minutes. So everything took a bit less time than I thought it would. So for the rest of the afternoon, we watched Lady and the Tramp, which is a film I haven't watched in many, many years. It's a Disney film. I mean, I'm sure you all know the storyline about a dog who, the owner of those dogs have a baby, and they go away, and the person who's looking after the dog doesn't really like her, and she ends up getting away after they try to put a muzzle on her, and she goes on a bit of an adventure with a stray called the Tramp. It's got some nice songs, and we watched the Blu-ray version, and they've really like remastered in a very good way the animation on it, which was amazing. I also forgot when we were watching it, Molly was like, we watched it the whole way through. I mean, it's only 76 minutes long, so it's a pretty short one anyway, like just over an hour. We watched it the whole way through, and she sort of showed varying levels of interest in it. But one thing she did really like was when the rat goes up to the baby, and Lady's trying to raise alarm about this, and the Tramp comes, and then the Tramp and the rat have a fight. And we watched that bit about 5 times because she really liked it, even though she was scared. She was covered in a blanket. She was like, I'm scared, but I really like it. So yeah, so that was the bit she rewatched a few times. But yes, enjoyed that. And then last night, David and I, was it for Father's Day? No, it wasn't for Father's Day, or Easter or something.
I think it was Easter.
For Easter, I bought David this poster. We'll link it down below. Oh, I thought Minnie was going to jump up onto me then. I'll link it down below. It's a scratch poster of 100 films you should watch in your lifetime. And we've had that for ages in a packet under the bed, because I didn't have a poster hanger. I wanted like one of those proper poster hangers to hang it up with. And I ordered one for those last week, and he got it and we put it on the wall. So we were looking at the films on there, and there's 100 films on there, some of which we've seen, some of which we've both seen, some of which one of us have seen. But David's quite keen to watch the whole list, if that means rewatching them or anything. So we had a look at them last night, and I'd never seen Gangs of New York, and that was one that was on there, and we watched it. It's a bloody long film, but I mean, I always think Leonardo DiCaprio is an amazing actor anyway. So that was a given. He was going to be amazing in this anyway, but for such a young guy in it, he is just incredible. Cameron Diaz is also very good in it. It also had an actor who we've seen in The Walking Dead. We really liked him, and I was like, I know that guy, and he was from The Walking Dead. But yeah, it's basically about the gangs of New York. It's set a long when is it set? Oh, 1850s, isn't it? 1850s it's set, and I think it's 1856 it said.
Yeah, something like that. Might be a little bit later.
And yeah, I mean, it's pretty gory, and there's some really bad language in it, and for the, like, obviously at the times there's some really bad shit going on as well. So yeah, just very interesting and just well shot, like really epically shot film for one that was made in like 2002. And the soundtrack, like the whole feel of it, which is weird because it was nothing like Lord of the Rings, but it really reminded me of Lord of the Rings in sort of setting and the music that was used and things like that. But very enjoyable, like a long time. It takes like almost 3 hours to watch it, but enjoyed it nevertheless. That was the films. Bloody hell, that went on for ages. The TV that I've been watching at the moment, I've been watching a series on Amazon Prime called Startup. Now this is something that David and I tried watching over a year ago, the first episode, and it straight away had a very cringy sex scene with Martin Freeman, who you may know that I'm very fond of. And we were like, we can't watch this, I can't watch his turtle face having it off. So I decided to stop watching it. And then recently, I had a dream about Martin Freeman where I was smooching him on a bed, and off the back of that I was like, I wouldn't mind watching something with Martin Freeman on, so I gave that a go again, and actually it's a really good series. Like, granted, there is that first sex scene is a bit cringy, but Martin Freeman plays a FBI agent who is not a very nice man, and he's very, what do they call it when someone's like corrupt FBI agent. It's also got Adam Brody in it, and he's very good in it. I think he's a producer on it, but it follows a startup company about a online currency invented by a girl called Izzy. She pitches to the company that Adam Brody's character works for, and they're not interested, but he is. Now, his name is Nick, and Nick's father has had a lot of problems with corruption, and he's a money launderer and things like that. And then they get involved with another guy called Ronald, who's from a place in Miami called Little Haiti. And yeah, it's just really like there's a lot happening. Like in the first 4 episodes, something really awful happens at the end of the 4th episode. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe like that's happening already. It's really action packed, and every single episode something exciting or like amazing happens. And yeah, I just think it's really well acted. It's just I'm really enjoying it, and I will continue to enjoy it. There's 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season has been made, and I think it's going to be out in October this year. So I will definitely be watching that as well. But really enjoyed that, and looking forward to watching that. Because David's not interested in watching it, so I've been trying to watch an episode before he gets home from work, so it doesn't always happen, it doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, been very much enjoying that. The books that I'm reading at the moment, so I'm currently listening to the audiobook of The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, the first volume, which is called Belle, Sauvage. I read this book, was it last year or the year before? Did it come out last year? Whenever it came out, I read it as soon as it came out, and enjoyed it. Although I think I read it, and I said this at the time, I read it with a bit of like, I can't believe this is finally here, because we'd all been waiting for such a long time. But the audiobook, I am enjoying so much more than the actual reading of the book. It's narrated by Martin Sheen. He's doing an incredible job. I saw a clip of him doing it at like the Penguin, they did like a Penguin day where they were like talking about all the books that were coming out and things like that, and I saw a clip of that on YouTube and I thought, bloody hell, he's really good, and he's just amazing. Like the voices he does are incredible. He really, the main character throughout it is a young boy called Malcolm, and he does an amazing job of making Malcolm seem so like fragile and vulnerable, but still really strong and like and just brave. Yeah, it's really well done audiobook, and I'm really enjoying it. Like so much so I'm like looking forward to getting into the car and thinking, oh, I don't want this to ever end because it's just so good. But the beauty is I can listen to it again. The 3 books, excuse me, I'm over here. I've got 3 books on the go at the moment. I'm hoping to finish one today. I don't know which one because, oh, maybe that one. I'm sort of midway through all of them. The first one is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I won't talk too much about these because I feel like I've been talking about these in TBRs and things like that. This is set in New York in the 1920s and follows Evie, who's got a sort of supernatural gift, and she's staying with her uncle and her uncle's, someone who works for her uncle, and they're looking into some very gory and strange murders that have been going on in the city. It's a YA book, and I'm finding it really fun, and I actually must be much more into it than I realised because I was just in Tesco and I thought, oh, that man looks just like Jericho from The Diviners. It was working. The next one, I'm still reading this proof copy of The Future Popes of Ireland by Dara Martin. I'm still very much enjoying this, but just sort of picking myself between these 3 books, not committing to any one fully, so maybe I should just sit and read one this afternoon. This follows a set of triplets and their older sister and their lives in Ireland. They were born in the 70s, and it's done very well in like individual sort of objects and things like that. So the last bit I've listened to, the Colour of My Love compact disc, and you hear from different points of views from each of the children, and they wanted, the mother of the children wanted them to give birth to one of the future popes who was from Ireland. So yeah, funny and still heart-wrenching and things like that. And then the last one is a non-fiction book. I am reading A Good Time to Be a Girl by Helena Morrissey. I'm really almost at the end here. Like I haven't found this like helpful in my sort of area of work. I work for the NHS. And I'm quite happy at the level that I am. I don't ever see myself as being a chief exec or anything like that. I'm very much all about work-life balance, and I feel like I've perfected my work-life balance in terms of I spend a day off every other week doing YouTube stuff, and I like to be home. I like to be home more than I do like to be at work. So for me, this book wasn't written for me, but there's still things I found very valuable in here. And one of the last things is that Helena Morrissey has 9 children, and she works full time, and her husband is a house husband. That's his job. He looks after the children and things like that. And they've got a big range of children, obviously having 9 of them. So he looks after the children and has looked after all the children. And I just found the perspective. There's a little bit in here about what the kids thought of that and what it was like to be brought up by a dad at home and things like that. I found that very interesting. But the actual, maybe the full message of the book isn't written for me, but I feel like I know people that this would be very helpful for. And then the last 2 things are, what have I been doing online and what have I been doing on YouTube? So online, I mentioned this in my last video as well, just to hammer it home a little bit more. I've just set up a Patreon page online, which didn't take as long as I thought it was going to do, but I'm quite pleased with how it looks and everything. Patreon is a website, you may not know, it's an online tipping service. So if you enjoy my content and if you want to sponsor me or support me in any way, you can tip me from $1 a month, which is lovely. It's something that I use to support other booktubers. I've been using it for a few years now, and I always said to myself, when I get to 10,000 subscribers, which I have by the way, I would set up a Patreon, which I've now done. So I've been very much enjoying setting up that, and then I mentioned it for in my last video where I was talking about getting 10,000 subscribers, and it's just been so lovely, like emailing the people who've supported me to say thank you so much. There's a few tiers on there, so if you sponsor me $1, I keep saying sponsor, if you support me $1 or pledge $1 a month, you get access to my Patreon only Instagram feed. So I've been putting things on there, which has been really fun. Then there's $10, and we'll have a chat every month and talk via email and talk about what books I could recommend you and things like that. And then there's a $50 tier, which someone has signed up to, amazing. where I will send you a book a month, and I've just been having a really nice time like emailing these people and just saying thank you, and then getting into chats with the people who I'm sending books or sending recommendations, and yeah, it's just been really, really lovely. So that's what I've been doing online. If you do want to support me on Patreon, I will link everything down below. It's www.patreon.com/Lauren and the Books, and you can support me from a minimum, I think it's like $1 a month is the minimum. So yeah, that's I'm very, very excited to be doing that. So that's what I've mainly been doing online this month. And then what I've been doing in terms of YouTube, what I've been watching, and I haven't found myself watching a lot of anything, so I thought I would talk about the last YouTube video I watched, and that's also some from a channel that I've mentioned on here before. It is a vlog from a family called The Life of Riley. They're a family who live in Kent, as David and I do. Is Tunbridge Wells in Kent? It might be just outside of Kent. But the father in this family, his name is Matt Riley. He was a contestant on the Great British Bake Off a few years ago, the season where Nadia won, which was one of my favourite seasons ever. And his wife Alex, she's just left her job actually. She was a newsreader, and she's just left her job and is now looking after the children and doing a bit of freelance work. And they've got 2 kids, Elsie and Rue, and we really, really enjoy watching their vlogs and really enjoy watching what they get up to with their lives. They're both similar ages to us, and they seem to have similar interests, and they've got similar senses of humour and things like that. So that's we've been very, very much enjoying watching those. And I've just watched their one this morning where Alex has just completed a triathlon, which is an amazing, amazing achievement. Wowza, something I will never achieve. So yeah, so that's the last YouTube video I watched. So that is what I've been up to at the moment. Would love to hear what you've been listening to, watching, reading, doing online, etc, etc, etc. La 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 la. My hair's still a bit pink, isn't it? I really thought it would be gone by now. I don't mind it. I don't mind it like this. It's a bit tangly actually where I've been in the car. But yeah, it's just stayed in a bit pinker than I thought. I've also got a purple one, which I thought I might do when David and I go on holiday, and it said it takes 5 to 10 washes to get out. And I thought, well, if this said it took 1 to 3 and I've washed it 3 times, it's still pink. Imagine how long that purple's gonna take. Imagine. Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm going to have my cup of tea, and I've got a gypsy tart in the fridge, and I will see you all again soon for another booktube video.